Welcome back. Blake Cousins, Third Phase Moon. We've reached out to the public in regards to the alien UFO phenomenon, and we did get an email from a family who claims that they've all been abducted. We will be doing an interview with them on location right here, Redondo Beach, California. The family is here. Their story is incredible. Wait till you see this. All right, the family is inside. We have Steve, his wife, and his boy Nathan inside the house. Steve has asked me to not reveal their identity, so we will respect that. So let's get started right now with Steve and his encounter. I gotta say, it's taking a lot of guts coming out right here at Third Phase Moon. I know you brought your family over here.
Yes, sir.
And I want to talk to them about what they've experienced as well, but I've been hearing a lot of stuff. Your email was quite intense, and you reached out to us while we're here in Los Angeles. And hey, man, thanks for joining us. Let's get straight to the point. When did this get started? How old were you when you were first abducted?
Well, for me, this started, I was 7 years old. My father worked at the Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Yep.
And he actually had...
what was his role in the Air Force Base?
Well, he had secret clearance to work at the Air Force Base. And he, believe it or not, would work with communicating. He was in charge with communicating with a particular alien.
What do you mean?
With an alien species of some sort that I don't know. But that's what his job was. That's what he reported to me later.
Okay.
Not at the time I was 7. I didn't know that's what he did.
Let's start at the age of 7, what happened?
Okay. When I was 7, one evening, basically, I was asleep, and I was woken up, and it was this voice that told me to follow it. And I walked outside, and I was following it. I saw my parents looking at a TV screen. Oddly enough, it was off, and I was scared because I tried to talk to them, and I couldn't communicate with them. And so I followed this voice, and the one thing led into another.
When I was reading your email, Steve, I was reading about this experience and this close encounter with the craft right after you walked outside your home.
Yes.
Your parents were fixed on the TV, and the TV wasn't on. And this is when I was like, I gotta reach out to this guy. And you returned my call like immediately. So we're doing this right now. Okay, Steve, let's just hear about what happens next.
Okay. Well, what happens next is the voice led me to part of our yard that ended up being what basically looks like a flying saucer ship, like a ship, a metallic ship is what I thought it was. Actually, I don't know if you've ever heard anybody saying anything like this before, but
okay.
I actually I touched it, and it didn't feel like a metal ship. It felt odd. It felt...
What did it feel like?
Well, I'm lucky enough to actually been able to swim with dolphins within the last 10 years or so.
Okay.
When I touched a dolphin, it actually felt like what that ship felt like.
So it didn't sound... Excuse me. So it didn't feel metallic, and then
No.
It didn't feel solid.
No, sir. And it was...
Organic. Biological.
It felt organic. And, I mean, to say that I had never felt anything or thought of anything like that would be an understatement. It was amazing
All right, so
and
now
frightening.
you're touching this craft, this extraterrestrial craft.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it's from around here?
No.
Then what happens?
Well, the voice led me to underneath this shape thing, and it literally opened up and I was inside. It was as if it was like a door, but it wasn't a door, and I felt myself inside it.
Did you feel threatened in any way?
At that time, no, but I knew it was possibly wrong for me as a child. But it didn't feel like I was in serious trouble or anything.
Okay, I got you. So you're 7 years old. You're aboard a craft.
Yep. I don't remember anything that happened actually in the craft.
Okay.
There's no recollection of anything in it.
Strange.
But I do remember hearing a voice saying, "I will return," and that's a very vivid, strong memory.
Was it a voice? What did it sound like?
It was almost like a voice that was internal. It was like me saying it, but it wasn't me.
What do you think it means?
It means I think something's going to return, and it's bigger than I think it is. So I think somebody's going to return. Something is going to return.
Now you have a family, and this is what intrigues me most, because I think this is why you reached out to us, because I read your whole story. Can you tell Third Phase Moon what it's all about? What happened 20 years later?
Well, I was told that this entity would return when I was 7. 20 years later, they actually did return. And I had told my wife, who I'm married now, I do have a child, and
She's here. They're both here.
yes.
And I'm going to be able to ask them questions about this, right?
And that's, yep, you can.
Okay, go ahead.
So I told my wife, ever since I've known her, she's known my story about
Was she
what I went
skeptical?
through. Yeah, she was pretty skeptical, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't blame anybody for being skeptical.
Sure.
But she loves me. She's my wife, so she didn't think I was crazy or anything, but
Okay.
she was skeptical.
So what changed?
So what changed was that she actually experienced some experience that I have experienced. And her perspective obviously has changed, and
Why? Why has her perspective changed?
well, she's experienced some things that I have experienced
Like what?
with communicating with these aliens. This is what really got me concerned, was my son actually came up to my wife, and he told her that he has actually seen the same thing that I've seen. And that's when I wanted to find somebody to communicate our story to, and I found you on the internet, and I thought you guys might be the best people to communicate with.
A lot of government officials come forward, and what I'm really excited about that your dad worked at Vandenberg Air Force Base, and he said that he met with aliens. This must be a connection. There must be a connection there, Steve.
He didn't just meet aliens, he was actually the person in charge of communication with aliens. Yeah. Okay. I just want to say, my dad died young. I was 14. And the only reason I know this is literally on his deathbed, he wanted to share this with me. I never knew that before. I never knew what he did at the Air Force Base. He literally was in charge of communicating with them. My whole family.
How does he get a job like that? How does that work?
I never got that information. He just shared this important information. He wanted to hide it, and to me it seems like he wanted to get out as much as he could to me when he was literally within hours of him dying. And our family, actually, to this day, we think that his dying early may have something to do with the aliens.
Did your dad give you any specifics on his encounters with the aliens when he first met them?
No, because he just wanted to share what he could share when he could, apparently, and that's the only information that I got from him, is that he actually was in charge of communicating with them.
So let me get this right. Your dad was a communicator with aliens, and that would be a kind of profession that I would like to get into. How was he qualified for this?
Frankly, I don't know how he was qualified for it. How do you get qualified for anything that's as mind-boggling as that? But there were other guys that worked before him that did that. But basically what he said to me was, the guys, anybody that had worked before him, they couldn't do it, or they literally had heart attacks or some crazy illnesses that they couldn't do it, and he actually was able to do it, to sustain it up to a certain point. And that's what he was doing. That was his job.
So he's able to make a connection with these guys.
Apparently.
And he was able to do it successfully, and now
Yes.
you're having these encounters, and your family now.
Right.
All right, let's bring in the family.
How do you feel?
Absolutely incredible. Now we're going to get into something very sensitive. Nathan, a 12-year-old boy, and his experience with the extraterrestrials. It is quite amazing. So let's get to his interview right now. So you've had an extraterrestrial experience, as you would say.
Yeah, sometimes at night, I just wake up from these weird things that are gray and super, super huge black eyes, just giant black eyes, and they just look into you. It's so creepy. But then it's also a warm feeling. It's weird. And then they ask you to go up and fly with them or something. But I don't know it exactly because it's weird. It's
All right, so can you explain to me what these aliens are like? How do they treat you? Give me some details.
they're about, I don't know, 5'4", 5'6". I don't even know because.
So they're taller than you are, almost.
Oh yeah, they're definitely taller than me.
Any kind of communication going on with these guys?
Yeah.
Besides this message?
It's so weird. It's like you are just invited by them, but then you're really scared of them at the same point.
Scared?
Yeah.
Are there any other kind of aliens that you've seen besides these gray aliens with the eyes? Is there any kind of...
in the movie E.T., but that's not even an abduction. If I'm describing what they look like, I'd sort of say they're sort of like E.T. Just a little bit.
Okay, Nathan, I hear a lot of abductee stories, and let me tell you, it gets quite interesting when they communicate. Are they speaking to you in audible, or is it... How do you hear them? How do they speak? What do they sound like?
They're silent. but they speak into your soul, like you just tell what they're saying to you. They don't make any noise.
Have you ever told this to any of your friends in school?
No.
Why?
They just tell you, like in your mind, you can just tell that if you told anyone, they wouldn't believe you, and then start happening to them, and then it just feels wrong.
So far, the only people that you've told right now is your parents, and right here at Third Face. I mean, this is quite amazing. A 12-year-old kid right now having this experience. The family's right around here. The family's here. The mom and dad's here. So this is, we're doing this. This is something new. This is something new. And, it's amazing. We've had people call in that have experience like this at this age. Do you think these experiences are going to be continuing, or is it?
Since my dad's was 7 years old and stopped when he was 7, I would not expect it to be any longer. But if it did happen frequently and getting more and more, then I'd probably, ask him about it or something.
All right, so you're okay with this. It's okay with you.
Well, I mean,
You're experiencing something that a lot of people haven't, possibly alien connection right here.
yeah,
What do you think about that? That's
I-
something big.
I don't know what to tell you on that one, because when you're asleep and stuff, it's just, you don't really feel anything about it, you don't care about it, it's like you're still asleep as it's happening. But they just communicate and stuff.
What is the end game? What's their goal, do you think?
To bring you with them and create you into them.
All right, Melissa's here, and the family's off right here. Nathan and Steve. Okay, Melissa, when did Nathan come to you and start to share his experiences with you?
I think Nathan was about 7, just like his dad. Oh my God, it's such a relief to be able to start to talk about this. I've not been able to confide in anyone. And they both have been telling me the same thing for a long time now. And it's basically that they feel like they're sleeping, and then something is communicating with them, and they feel like, I'm concerned because I feel like it's going to affect them like who they are.
Who are they?
Well, that's exactly what I've been wondering, because I notice like a change happening, and it's really subtle, but you can tell that they're not who they were. And they're always kind of drifting into some sort of zone that to me is kind of the state that's induced when those experiences happen to them.
Some people say interdimensional beings.
Exactly. It's whatever this force, this being, this alien is, but I just don't know what's going to become of us. I mean, I am freaking out. What the fuck is going to become of us?
What is going on? That is the big question. The family will be in touch with us right here at Third Phase Moon. We want to hear from you. If you've had an experience in regards to this UFO phenomenon happening right now, reach out to us at Third Phase Moon. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes